Thanks, Jen. Today we are going to demo the Wombat admin app. Like Jen mentioned, I have Gautam with me. So the agenda for today is we will quickly talk about the client's business background, the kind of business problems that we solved in Wombat admin app, and then quickly we'll take you through the technical stuff like technology stacks, and then we have a demo. So let's get started. Wombat Security is a company who deals with cyber security educations. They are pioneer in a lot of researches, their business model is basically to develop cyber security training materials. And so the platform that they have, they call it as a Wombat training platform app. And they also had an application to manage the subscribers or the companies who enroll for these products. And our today's discussion is about this admin app. And the app that they had a lot of issues. It has performance issues. It was a bit old UI design, not very good user experience. Most importantly, it has concurrency and inconsistency issues. So multiple users were not able to use the app at the same time, and it would lead to inconsistent data. So the idea was to rewrite the whole application, and so we kind of re-engineered the whole thing with new design architecture. That's what we did as part of admin app. It went through a different development phases. I'll not go much in depth about those, but it's a 1.7 years old project. And earlier we were using Ember 1.13 version. Recently we upgraded to Ember 2.11, which is the latest supported, long-term supported version. We have a naming conventions that we give to every release that we do. We follow agile development model, and in phase 2, as you can see, we have different names for different releases that we did throughout the cycle. These are the different technologies that we use or that are used in admin app. The front end, the core is Ember.js, and it uses Ember data beneath the scene as a persistent layer. Bootstrap is, of course, the CSS framework. And then we have Java middleware. It's a Spring Boot application. The final build is created as a runnable jar, which has embedded Tomcat in it. So we don't need a third-party server or an application server to run it, because it already has everything inbuilt. The app, consumes a lot of microservices, and which are in the form of RESTful API and JSON API. The development of these microservices is not scope of this admin app. That is something done by the platform team or Wombat team. Our responsibility is only the front end and middleware. So if we quickly look at it from an architecture perspective, this is how it would look from a very high level design perspective. So we have Ember UI, which talks to the Spring MVC app, and as you can see, that's Action's responsibility. And this Spring MVC app talks to the different microservices. Some are in REST API specifications, some are in JSON API specifications, and that's something that is exposed by the Wombat team. So we don't talk to the database directly. So these are some points to highlight the value that that is added by this admin app, and these are exactly clients' words. So we have designed even the Git workflow, the build process, how the entire application should be built into finally into a single jar, even though we are using a lot of different technology stacks. Um, this solution is a database agnostic solution that we proposed or that we developed. It right now consumes microservices, but if later on we decide to remove the microservices by the database persistent layer, that can be very easily done due to the kind of designs that it employs. It has modern UX, which is of course reliable, and it has from the performance wise, from performance perspective, it is also very great because earlier, the application that they had, the UI would make a lot of API calls to the data, to the backend. And that was consuming a lot of time. Now, since we have a REST API as a middle layer, so the UI invokes minimum API calls, and then that REST API invokes all the necessary calls to the microservices. And since the REST API and the microservices are in the same intranet infrastructure, it reduces the latency. And I have shown you earlier the different releases that we did. And looking at the Jira statistics, we have come to a conclusion that our model is around 90% delivery model, 90% agile delivery model. I think that's really nice to achieve. The most important thing why this whole application was needed to be rewritten is in their existing applications, they could not support reseller accounts, and they could not quite often modify the roles and permission stuff. If they want to take out certain features from a specific role, they could not do that very easily. And but that's something which is done quite well in admin app. It is very flexible to the modification or any change. So I think that's something what client communicated to us, that it has really placed them in a position where they can expand their sales channel with the help of these resellers accounts. This is the team size. There has been a little bit fluctuations there. There has been some up and downs there. There were times when we were around 9. Now it would again get back to 7, I guess. That's it. As part of the presentation, we will take you through the demo. So that will be okay. So Gautam is going to take you guys through the demo. Take it over, Gautam.
Thank you, Bikram. Good morning and good evening to all. I'll be making I'll basically have a walkthrough to the admin app. So this is the main Wombat admin app landing page. This is basically used to manage all the companies. Companies are basically the entities. These are the actual clients of the Wombat team, and who have actually bought and purchased licenses and products of the Wombat. So this is the landing page where all the entire company names with their license type, ID, and the details are mentioned. So details are basically the information, much more information required by the company, like the products that they have licensed, the UID, the alias name, and all. So these things can be viewed in the homepage by selecting multiple options. So this will basically give you a UI, a proper UI look to the final end user. So like these are the licensed training modules that these are specific company has bought and all. So we support sorting on this companies as per the ascending and descending functionalities. You can search a company by its name. You can apply filters on these 4 values that are company name, legal name, company ID, and alias. So, for example, if I search Andrew, you'll just get the information of that company. And also we support pagination. So you can see the list. You have an option to select multiple entries of the current page size of the page, and there is a pagination option here. So I'll now move on to the create new company page, which can be accessed from this tab, as well as from the company management tab, the create company new page. So this is the section which is used to create a company, which ideally, as Bikram had mentioned, the previous system was not very user friendly and had multiple tabs for the creation. So it was not actually very, usable. It had usability issues. So everything has been brought together in the simple page, simple form that needs to be filled, which would actually contain all the modules required for a company to be created. So let us start off with a simple company creation. I would name it as Axion. And you can keep it as same. We have all the types of validations required to required for the company creation. So platform alias is basically the URL that the final end company will have access to. So like this is the actual URL that their users will be hitting to access the different Wombat Security modules and to have their trainings and licenses. So we support multiple authentication methods, that is configured by the company admin. So custom username, Google OpenID and all. So let us select one of these. Company license type is basically of 2 types, that is trial and full. Trial is used when it is in an evaluation phase and companies just wants to evaluate the Wombat services. So for now, I'll select a trial version and I'll get back to full in few minutes. Type is again mentioned as self-managed, managed service, or reseller. It is like basically the company is going to manage it, or the Wombat end is going to manage it, or a third-party reseller is going to manage it. So for now, let's move with self-managed. Industry is basically what in which the company deals it. It is the actual domain of the company. So for now, let us select any education. And now account manager and customer success manager, these are optional, but these are actual users from the Wombat end who would be representing the companies for their details. So let us assume Andrew to be our account manager. Theme is just the look and feel of the final application, which would be presented to the user to the company when he visits the platform alias. So that is the theme. We support 2-factor authentication, and these are various checkboxes that is required if it is like for a trial version. If you don't, it is for it mentions basically it is a test company, so you want to prevent all the recordings and all. So these are just options that we have given him. Next comes the user information. You can create users inside it which have the access to the license of the Wombat products. So basically, first we register a domain, and so these are like, first you need to register the domains which will like to create a user. This is the necessary domains that the user has to have. So you can have multiple domains in this. So now if you add a user, there is a validation that the user must be of these registered domains only, or else it will not accept it. So like test user So that the email address matches a valid domain.
Single C.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry, I've made a typing mistake. Okay, so it has to match the registered domain. So you can add users from here. You can also download a CSV template, and you can bulk upload the list of users. It is basically an Excel sheet where you'll enter the email address, first name, last name, and this sheet has to be uploaded. So next comes, before I move on, I would like to show a feature where if this is for the trial company license, but if you select on full, you get an option to add the administrator for this company, who will be basically the managing this company details. So let's create an admin for that. Again, we have a list of countries, and we have Google validations for the numbers. Basically, it has to be a specific and correct valid number. And two-factor authentication is compulsory if you have checked the above box, because that is just a validation from point of view. You can have either one of them or both. Okay, so next comes the product licensing. These are the actual products that Wombat supports. So it's like Cyber Strength, Fish Alarm, Fish Guru Classic, and all. These are the products that the Wombat provides education material for. And these are things that will be coming soon in the upcoming days. So that's why it has been disabled. So for just to purchase a product, you basically give a start date, an end date, and the number of license that you want to buy. There are basic validations that the end date should not be greater than start date and such. And one module that I would like to bring upon is the training module, because this module is in itself divided into sub modules. So on clicking and assigning licenses to it, you would see that this list is generated, which actually provides content material related to training. So you can select multiple based upon the requirements and budget of the company, on which you're going to provide the Wombat demo. And by default, the language that is supported is English or US, and Wombat does support in all these languages that are provided. So you can select any of these and click on submit. Will create an actual company for you. Okay, so now this is the page where you can edit the company. It is basically a tabular format divided structure of the same company, where if you want to make any changes to it, that can be done. So you can see the basic information is provided here. The user information is here. You can change the company password. The company administrator is visible. All the product license that you have bought is visible here. One thing to note is if any of the licenses expires after the end date, you have to just add a new license to it by giving it a new start date and end date, and this is how a new multiple licenses can be added. So you can there is an option of filtering these things. Then again, you can see the languages and training course that you have selected, and this is a tab which says single force complete and bulk force complete. It is basically when the user goes through an evaluation or an assignment, and if he's stuck at some place and just needs to bypass that thing, this is when the user email address would be entered here, and the specific assignment can be skipped, or it's like a bypass for an assignment. And one thing to note is this is the delete company button. So if you want to delete this company, you just basically type this and you have to enter delete here to delete the company. So this is basically a company manager. So the UI that you can see here is a simple form, but at the end, at the back end, it actually makes 10 to 12 API calls where all this data is aggregated and used to create. But for the front end user, it is an a very easy usable form. So next comes a tab that is the content library, that is a cyber assessment. So this tab is basically like the questionnaires or modules that the admin can add as per the cyber strength assessment. So it is just they provide a sample template to it, and you fill in the details. You what do you say? You give it a unique name and the number of questionnaires modules that you would like to enter. And on uploading the template, you just have to like upload the sample CSV XLS file, XML file, and it would be uploaded. So this was done prior to the demo. So I've done a sample, and on just publishing it, it would actually get would be visible for taking up with the cyber strength assessment. And the final tab, that module, is the admin module. This is basically the internal module for the Wombat team, where all the users that have been created have been listed with their first name, last name, and the roles. Roles are basically required to what do you say, narrow down the scope of the functionality that is present. So to understand these roles, I would like to take you through this Excel sheet. Like there is a super admin, support, channel partner admin. These are the roles that you can see, and we have a complex matrix that we have stored at our end, on according to which the usability of the app can be controlled. So as you can see, the create new admin is only visible to the super admin and the company support, but for else it would be grayed out. So simply this is a listing of all the users. You can select multiple, have them, you can delete it straight away from here, and again pagination is supported. You can search upon a specific user, you can add a new user to it, and then this is the company admin profile of the current logged in user, where you can check his information, and you can basically change his role from a higher version to a lower version, but you cannot go vice versa. And this option is only visible to the company super admin and the customer support, and not to everyone else. So this is the admin app project that we have built from 1.5 years, and it is what do you say, very much appreciated by the Wombat team. So thank you for signing off, and I would like to give it to Vikram.
Thanks, Vikram. Thanks, Gautam. We have some question here. So the question is, any idea on how the registration of the domains are happening, as in who is providing these domains?
So that's basically when a company signs up, when a company wants to purchase the licensed product from Wombat. That's what the details that a company provides to the Wombat company, to the Wombat. So basically, we don't have any actual verification as such whether that domain is earned by or owned by that specific company, but it is the information that a company has to provide. So yeah, hope I answered that.
Okay, and how does the employees access this content? Is it on Wombat's domain, or it's hosted separately for each corporate or each company?
Right, that's a good question. So I'll just quickly take you to the edit company page. So if you have remembered, there was an alias or platform link that we filled in on create company page. And if you navigate into the edit company page, you see this platform link, and this is actually a dedicated instance that is created for every account, where the end user needs to go there and log in. Now, I don't know whether I'll be able to access this because there are a lot of access restrictions, but let me try. So you can see that I can access it, right? I just went to that domain.
This platform link is provided by Wombat only, right?
That's right.
Okay. And do they generate this for unique link for each company?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
So there is there's this domain and the subdomain of that. So that subdomain makes it unique.
Okay, there's another question. Is there a competing product off the shelf?
I quite didn't get that. So you are saying, is this complete?
No, so is there a product, a competition for Wombat? Um,
Um, uh, Sorry, I don't have much insight into that, into the business.
okay. This application is heavily dependent on role-based access control, right? Are you using any standard IDM frameworks, platforms, or this is all in-house?
Yeah, I think that's again another great question. What I would okay, so there are a few things there to give you a little bit background. So when we initially started understanding the requirements, pros and permission, we did explore a lot of frameworks that works well along with Ember.js, at least for the UI, because in backend we knew that we could expose that metrics via REST API or something like that. But we thought of implementing everything from anyone who understands Ember.js or any other UI framework also Fetch can relate it. So we have all this customization on application controller itself and application routes. So that's kind of a customization that is done globally. There are a few also done for individual pages. So yes, the answer is we have written everything on our own.
Okay. Were there any challenges in this project you want to talk about?
Yes, I think
Technical or
yeah.
non-technical?
Yes, yes, of course. Um, I think so. This is the different development phases that we went through. In the very beginning, the client thought a simple jQuery app would do their requirements. Um, but I think we were smart enough. Our leaders were smart enough to to suggest AngularJS and Ember.js as the UI framework to be used in building this. And for some reason, client wanted to go with Ember.js. We did suggest that, but I think we had to learn that from the scratch, and that itself was challenging. I think Ember.js has a steep learning curve than AngularJS. It restricts you a lot of things. So I think to get it to that level, um, we need some level of struggle there. So I think the page one, we thought that we did a good job, but when the client reviewed the kind of code that we delivered with their internal team, they said that okay, things are done fine. Things looks great from outside, but the code is not as per Ember standard. And of course, there was certain budget concern there, but they were ready to invest more in getting things up to that standard. And that is when we really had to be very serious about Ember standard, learning stuff, uh, you know, to be able to meet that level of expectations. So I think the most challenging thing was learning Ember.js, and not just learning, using it as a pro within that short span of time. And you can see that this refactoring phase, right? That is when we really without implementing any new feature. We just focused on refactoring stuff into Ember standard. The second thing, it would be more of a it's like a collaboration challenge. I would say not exactly a technical challenge. So we are heavily dependent on platform API, as you can see, and platform API is not in our control, even not in the hand of people who are involved in this admin app from Wombat side. So they are also dependent on a different team, which they don't have absolutely any control over. So this is a risk for us, well-known risk, I would say, and that creates a lot of trouble because we expect things in certain specifications, but it always comes as something different. So yeah, I think that collaboration is also a bit of challenging. But things are becoming, I think, smooth now. We all starting to understand each other quite well. Even we are thinking of having a dedicated platform API developer from Axial. That's something I think our business leader might be already aware of.
Okay. You've not mentioned the database in the tech stack, and I know the Wombat team is working on it, but do you have any idea as to what databases are they using?
Right. Yes. So, I can't confirm on that, but in the very beginning phase, we were not very sure whether the admin app would directly invoke the database or the microservices. That is when client had shared some DB scripts. So those scripts look like MySQL scripts only, and I think maybe a couple of months back there was a presentation when I asked whether they are using any other database. So there also they mentioned that they are only using MySQL database. And as far as the microservices layer is concerned, it is implemented in Spring Cloud, and Cathresis is used for JSON API. So that's kind of a specification on top of REST API.
Okay, great. Yeah, I don't see any more questions. Thanks a lot, Bikram and Gautam. Really nice product, a nice demo. Thank you everyone for joining this presentation, and I'll see you again next week. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone. Thanks, Jen.
Bye-bye.